Tuesday, January 12th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, a high-profile double murder trial is scheduled to continue today in Moncton. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And the Prime Minister heads to China. We'll chat with Dalhousie University's Laurie Turnbull about Mark Carney's trip and other current political headlines. That's in our 7 o'clock hour.
And catching up with Ellie Black, we'll chat with the Olympic gymnast about being named a member of the Order of Canada and her next competition. All that and so much more just ahead on the Tuesday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Hello. Hello to you. Come on in. It's almost 6:01 on this Tuesday, January 13th. So glad you can join us. Great show we have today. Very excited to chat with Laurie Turnbull about what's going on. So much happening in the world. Mark Carney's trip to China is a big one. But Ellie Black is coming in. Oh my gosh, what a great guest to have early in January. She is just such a fantastic human being, so inspiring. Just the energy we need this January.
Absolutely, so talented as well.
So talented and yet so humble and so generous with her, you know, her gifts of mentorship and encouragement for others.
Oh, it's so true. Gosh, if you think about famous maritime Olympians, Canadian Olympians, Ellie Black, right? A 4-time Olympic gymnast. Incredible. And we'll be asking her too, like, what's going on for LA 2028? And of course, her being named to the Order of Canada as well.
Big deal.
Big deal.
So if you have a chance to settle in, grab a beverage, and listen up to what's going on throughout the next couple of hours. Weather is a story again. I found it actually a little bit milder today leaving the house.
Yes, so it's not as active as we saw yesterday. Just a bit of flurry activity for parts of the region for the most part. We will be seeing sunshine return. And as Crystal mentioned, it is going to be warming up today. So we're definitely seeing mild temperatures into the afternoon above the freezing mark for most of the maritime region, but starting off a bit cold yet again.
Okay. All right, bit of a warm.
It's winter. It's winter.
It is after all, yeah. We're really going to start to see temperatures warm up into tomorrow as well. Really climbing above seasonal. Here's a live look at Truro early this morning. As I mentioned, it is a bit cold, so keep that in mind when you are heading out. Still seeing some breezy wind early this morning, but we'll taper off into the afternoon. And we are seeing the wind chill still factor in early this morning. So for current temperatures starting off your day, it is -3 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, -6 in Charlottetown, -5 degrees in Sydney with -3 degrees starting off your day in Halifax, -15 in Labrador City, and -2 degrees over in St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill factoring in early this morning. So starting off quite cold, will be warming up for the maritime region into the afternoon for our daytime highs. But for Newfoundland and Labrador, still going to remain a bit cooler into your daytime highs in this afternoon. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Just a chance of flurries for parts of Atlantic Canada. That will taper off for the most part, leaving sunshine into the afternoon. Could see either a mix of sun and cloud or mainly cloudy skies. In terms of the wind, we are going to see as of right now 39 kilometers per hour for sustained wind in Sydney, 28 into Grand Etang, 24 kilometers per hour into North Cape, 20 in Canso. Only one wind gust at this time, getting up to 31 kilometers per hour in Canso. We'll have a long-range look at your forecast coming up, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. A high-profile double murder trial is scheduled to continue today in Moncton. Jansen Baker has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of 78-year-old Bernard Saunier and his wife, 74-year-old Rose-Marie Saunier. The couple were both fatally shot inside their home in the early morning hours of September 7th, 2019. A key witness for the Crown testified yesterday and told the court Baker admitted to him that he was responsible for a double murder in Dieppe. There is a publication ban on reporting anything that could identify the witness. Halifax is warning commuters that the Alderney ferry service is running on a reduced schedule. As of Monday, service between downtown Halifax and Dartmouth will run every 30 minutes at peak times on weekdays. That's down from the regular 15 minutes. The city says the reduction is needed to repair one of the ferries that broke down last week. Parts are needed for the fix, and it's not known when regular service will be restored. A southwestern Nova Scotia municipality says it will review its dog control bylaw after the death of a 13-year-old boy who was attacked by 3 dogs. Drew Nickerson was attacked by a Rottweiler and 2 cane corsos as he rode his bike by a property in Welshtown. He later died in hospital. His funeral was held on Sunday. The animals were immediately euthanized, but the municipality says it will review its current dog bylaw after residents expressed concerns in light of the incident. Haligonians now know their water bills will jump a sizable 18% this year, with the bigger portion of the increase taking effect by the end of the month. Halifax Water has added an additional 0.5% to its rate increase scheduled for April, going from 5.5% to 6%. This is on top of a 12.1% hike this month.
So what that means for a household per month in January would be $9.28 extra a month, and then an additional $5.11 beginning in April.
When you stack water, power, and taxes together, it creates a real rate shock for people who simply cannot afford it.
The information on the Halifax water increase is now with the Regulatory Appeals Board. Brittany Smith says a decision could come within the next few days, and the utilities customers will then know how much more money will be coming out of their pockets. A fixture on the river will be missing this winter in Rothesay. The town will not approve solid ice fishing shacks. Officials say they no longer want to deal with the wooden huts sinking in the spring.
This past summer, we ended up sending some divers down to pick up a shack that had sunk 2 years ago. They brought it towards the wharf, and then we had a crane come in and lift it out of the water, and then we had to dispose of that.
For the last decades, everyone's had their shacks out here, so I don't feel it's fair to everyone.
Technically, the town has no jurisdiction on the river itself, but it does control the beach. So fishermen dragging shacks through there may face consequences. As we told you here yesterday, the fight to save a Halifax landmark was on the agenda at a public meeting last night.
I would say that the Memorial Library was the second most important civic building built in Halifax history besides the Hall itself.
A group called Friends of the Halifax Memorial Library hosted this event at the new library last night. The historic building on the other side of Spring Garden Road has been closed for a decade and is at risk for demolition. Supporters say they don't want to see that happen.
Tonight, we're trying to get a head start and get people engaged and encouraged for some hope of positivity towards saving the Memorial Library and respecting the site as well and all its complexities.
Rising costs and structural concerns have been cited as major barriers to redevelopment, along with the fact that the building sits on an old burial ground dating back to the 1760s. At last report, city officials had moved the property from its real estate portfolio to Parks and Rec, paving the way to have it designated, potentially, as a park. Finally, Maritime veteran NHL coach Rick Bowness is back in the game. The Columbus Blue Jackets announced yesterday they've hired the 70-year-old as head coach, replacing Dean Evison and assistant Steve McCarthy, who were both relieved of their duties. Bowness most recently served as head coach of the Winnipeg Jets from 2022 to 2024, leading the club to a back-to-back appearance at the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, the Moncton native has racked up more than 800 games coaching the Jets, Stars, Coyotes, Islanders, Senators, and Bruins. And the Blue Jackets, by the way, host the Flames later tonight. So a familiar face for Maritime hockey fans.
Bonus.
Yeah, bonus. A bonus, you could say, yeah.
Amazing. All right, well, let's chat about a mysterious bird.
Okay.
All right, this is cool. People in Montreal are trying to get to the bottom of an avian mystery, wondering how a bird that shouldn't be on this side of the Atlantic ended up in their neighborhood.
So it's possible that he hitched a ride and crossed the Atlantic Ocean. Other possibilities is the weather conditions as well. Lately in Europe, we've had these cold fronts, and Paris has had snow, and so it's possible these northern winds sort of pushed him here.
Well, here he is, and he's beautiful. It is a European robin. It's a hardy breed of bird, ordinarily found in Europe, even some northern parts, so it's okay in our winter. And bird watchers are flocking to catch a glimpse of the colorful creature. Experts say the robin could have been here for weeks or months. It may even stay till spring, but I think it's gorgeous.
So cute.
Wow, it is beautiful.
What a cutie.
And it's rocking there, too.
It's a rockin' robin. One of my favorite songs. Tweedledee, tweedledee. Oh my gosh, thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome.
It's an earworm that we could then feed to the rockin' robin.
Yeah. And since you are here, too, you're the early bird as well, and you're getting the warm up, which is your national news headlines and also the local forecast. As Latavia mentioned, we have some warmer temperatures. Well, warmer for January. The forecast is coming up next.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada, and welcome back. The time now is 6:13. We're taking a live look at a dark start to the day over in Charlottetown. You will be seeing sunshine as the sun begins to rise, but a cold start to the day as well. -6 degrees early this morning. Factor in that wind chill, feeling closer to -14. Weather is brought to you by the Atlantic Lottery mobile app. You can see it's another cold start to the day right across the board. As of right now, heading outdoors in Fredericton, it is -4 degrees, -3 in Halifax, with -6 in Sydney, -2 degrees starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. So not too bad. Pretty mild temperatures today and going to see a lot of sunshine across the region. We do also have a chance of some flurry activity across parts of Atlantic Canada that will taper off as we enter into the afternoon. A bit cloudy for parts of the region, so we're going to see either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud, and that takes us into later tonight. We are going to see temperatures cool down, but still remain above the freezing mark for parts of the maritime region. Taking us into early Wednesday morning, we do have another system making its way over, bringing a chance of showers and or flurries back around. If you're wondering about our rainfall outlook, going to remain quite light for the maritime region and not seeing any totals for Newfoundland and Labrador. For our snowfall outlook, only seeing around 1 to 5 centimeters for Edmundston and for Labrador City. So for our forecast today for New Brunswick, still dealing with a chance of flurries early in the morning. That will clear out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon, with daytime highs ranging from 0 to 3 degrees and wind gusts getting up to 40 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, lots of sunshine throughout your day today. Wind out of the southwest, 20 gusting to 40. Daytime highs between -1 to +1. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, looking at sunshine throughout your day as well. Highs between 0 to 4 degrees and wind gusts remaining at 40. For the rest of Nova Scotia, highs between 3 to 5 degrees, mainly cloudy skies. Seeing showers into the Tri-County area this evening. For Labrador City, a high of -12 degrees. We are going to deal with chance of flurries throughout your day. 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland, seeing lots of sunshine today as well. Wednesday, going to be much warmer for our daytime highs, remaining above the freezing mark for the maritime region. We do have some active weather, as I mentioned, looking at snow and or rain for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador, seeing a chance of showers for parts of the maritime region. Into Thursday's forecast, we have another system wrapping back around, bringing a chance of flurries and or showers our way. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
Thank you so much, Latavia. Prime Minister Mark Carney heads to China today for several days of meetings where trade talks will be a top priority. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on who will join him and what's at stake.
Expect progress on so-called irritants, say Canadian government sources, but not an elimination of tariffs. Canada has been hammered by tariffs on canola, pork and seafood, which China levied in response to Canadian duties on Chinese EVs.
Canola seeds need to be planted, right? So for our farmers, it would be good to know what's going to happen.
Government officials not specific on what progress to expect, billing the trip as important in the long game as Canada works to diversify trade.
To signal willingness to talk about EVs, it's a good ask to ask for suspension of tariffs, I think, absolutely, and potentially talk about other things, you know, about oil.
Officials describe legwork ahead of the trip as extensive. Former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien was in Beijing last week. The Prime Minister's parliamentary secretary and Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs visited last month.
This has been a building block process. I'm confident there will be outcomes and deliverables.
Cody Blois will be back for this trip. Carney also bringing 5 ministers and newly Liberal floor crosser Michael Mah. Saskatchewan's premier, on the front lines of the anti-canola tariff push, will join the Prime Minister for a few meetings.
Pragmatic engagement is fine. Diplomatic amnesia would be a mistake.
Canadian officials concede there will always be areas where Canada and China can work together and others we cannot. A coalition of human rights groups issued a letter to Mark Carney ahead of the trip.
We urged the Prime Minister to take a stronger stance than in the past with the human rights situation in China and Hong Kong, and as well as warning China not to mess with our internal affairs, meaning the foreign interference.
The Prime Minister leaves for Beijing Tuesday. After China, he heads to Qatar for a bilateral visit focused on trade, followed by the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
CTV's Abigail Beeman reporting in Ottawa, and we will talk about the Prime Minister's trip with Dalhousie political science professor Laurie Turnbull at 7:20. The situation is becoming more desperate for Iranian Canadians as they anxiously try to reach loved ones in a country largely cut off from the globe. Violent protests in Iran have claimed the lives of more than 500 people with no end in sight. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more.
It's a daily struggle. With communications to Iran cut off, Iraj Avahani can't reach his siblings in the northeastern part of the country. Even more concerning, his nieces and nephews have gone missing.
You cannot imagine what's going on, and if the phone, they said, okay, he's dead or he's in the jail. We hope he's in the jail.
The hope is that his brother or sister won't have to visit a makeshift morgue to search for the body. One human rights group says it has verified the deaths of more than 500 protesters.
We are also documenting a seriously extreme number of arrests, 10,690 as of our last count.
Monday, state TV aired footage showing massive crowds at pro-government rallies right across the country. Iranian authorities are accusing both Israel and the U.S. of having a direct role in the political unrest. Iran's foreign minister says his country is ready for talks with the U.S., but is also fully prepared for war. Trump's spokesperson says he's ready to talk while keeping military options on the table.
What you're hearing publicly from the Iranian regime is quite differently from the messages the administration is receiving privately, and I think the president has an interest in exploring those messages.
Meanwhile, back in Ottawa, members of the Iranian Canadian community can do little but send support.
And all they asking for freedom to choose to how to live, how to wear, what to eat, and what they do in their life.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has condemned the killing of protesters and urged Iran to allow for freedom of expression and peaceful assembly without fear of reprisal.
CTV's Mike LeCouture reporting in Ottawa. There was an overwhelming response to the grand opening of a brand new urgent care clinic in St. John's. So many people showed up, the clinic overflowed, and many were turned away just hours after the doors opened.
First day coming out here, it was open and you can't even get in there. I mean, I don't know what to think of it.
Witnesses told CTV News this room was overflowing just moments after doors opened, with a security guard turning many away. Newfoundland and Labrador Health Services was not available Monday to talk about the crowding in the clinic. Health officials in the region are planning to open 2 more urgent care clinics in hopes of diverting patients from the ER. The Olympic torch is making its way through Italy leading up to the Winter Games next month. Yesterday, the torch visited the highest peak in the Alps, Mont Blanc. It's been to many destinations already, including Rome, Sardinia, Sicily, and Naples, as part of a 12,000-kilometer journey that will end in Milan on February 6th. And a quick break here. When we return here on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic, our colleagues from TSN will have your must-see moment of the day. That's on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Back. It's almost 6:25 on this Tuesday morning. It's now time to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hey there, Matt Scooby inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. And for it, we've actually got two moments from Liverpool's FA Cup match. Taking on third-tier Barnsley, 9 minutes in, midfielder Dominic Szoboszlai unleashes a screamer from distance. Check out the non-reaction. Not been there, done that vibes. His sixth goal across all competitions this season is a beauty. That was the good. Here is the really bad. Still in the first half, Szoboszlai being chased back, flubs the back heel right in front of his keeper, gifting a goal to Barnsley. A shocking blunder by the Hungarian international. Liverpool did go on to win it 4-1, but Szoboszlai's highs and lows is your must-see moment. Well, today on TSN, Canada takes on Sweden to wrap up the group stage at the Women's Under-18 Worlds. The winner will clinch first place in Group A. Coverage begins 4 p.m. Eastern on TSN1. That's all from the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
Now over to your business headlines from our colleagues at BNN.
Federal prosecutors are looking at whether Jerome Powell lied to Congress about a renovation of the central bank's headquarters. But the chair says this is really about the independence of his office, which he says faces threats and ongoing pressure. The chair has been a target of the U.S. president for the last year. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem is offering his full support to Powell. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.06. West Texas Intermediate is up to 59.32. Western Canadian Select up $1.44 to 44.10. And the TSX gained 261 points today for yet another record close. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast for New Brunswick, a daytime high of 3 degrees today. We do have isolated flurries starting off the day, clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. Mixed precipitation expected to return into the evening. On Wednesday, warming up to 6 degrees, snow, wind, or rain across the province. Daytime high holds at 6 on Thursday, looking at snow, wind, or rain continuing. For Nova Scotia, a high of 3 degrees today, mainly cloudy skies. Showers expected into the evening for the Tri-County area. Then on Wednesday, 7 degrees with isolated showers transitioning over to rain into the evening. And on Thursday, 8 degrees is your daytime high and showers continue. Prince Edward Island looking at a high of 1 today, a mix of sun and cloud. On Wednesday, 6 degrees is your daytime high, showers and flurries across the island. On Thursday, showers with a high of 5.
Just ahead in this half hour of the Move Morning Chat, today things are taking a romantic turn. We want to know your proposal stories. That's in about 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Hey, good morning. It's Tuesday, January 12th, 2026. It's been a month since Christmas. If that's something that you've been counting away from or not. I know we just had our decorations taken down really over the weekend. I am late at taking them down. It's quite a bit to work on. But a number of people in my life, at least on my social media, got engaged over the holidays.
Really? That's fun.
Yeah.
It's always exciting.
Always exciting. Love. So, and if you did too, congratulations to you. But yeah, we're sharing engagement stories coming up later this half hour. The Move Morning Chat.
Always a lot of fun. I love to see the old engagement photos. We showcased some great rings on our show back in December, so maybe that inspired people to finally take the plunge. In any case, you're sparkling like a beautiful ring today, Latavia.
Right?
I love it.
Channeling the bling, as Crystal doesn't
My
like
favorite
to say.
word.
Yeah.
You know what, though, in this context, I'll allow it.
Okay.
What's going on in the weather?
Actually, we're going to see a warm up a little bit later on for the Maritime region.
Yeah.
Many temperatures will rise above the freezing mark. Starting off, though, cold, as usual. It's January.
Yep.
So you're going to want to layer up before heading outdoors, but we will be seeing lots of sunshine as the sun begins to rise, as you can see here in St. John's, Newfoundland. A high of current temperature, I should say, of -2 degrees. Your high for the day will be a bit cold as well. And we are going to factor in that wind chill in just a second. So starting off your day, -4 degrees in Fredericton, -6 in both Charlottetown and Sydney, -3 degrees early this morning in Halifax, -15 in Labrador City. Here's a look at that wind chill early this morning. So still feeling a lot colder, but temperatures are expected to rise into this afternoon. Same thing goes for Newfoundland and Labrador. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Not really much to show you. We do have a chance of some flurry activity for parts of Atlantic Canada. Other than that, for the most part, we are going to see sunshine into the afternoon, and wind will become light into the afternoon as well, starting off at 31 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 30 into North Cape and Sydney, and 22 into Moncton. A few wind gusts to notify you of, 44 kilometers per hour right now in Sydney, 41 in Grand Etang, with 35 in Moncton. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Halifax is warning commuters that the Alderney ferry service is running on a reduced schedule. It's on Halifax and Dartmouth will run every 30 minutes at peak times on weekdays. That is down from the regular 15 minutes. The city says the reduction is needed to repair one of the ferries that broke down last week. Parts are needed for the fix, and it's not known when regular service will be restored. In New Brunswick, a high-profile double murder trial is scheduled to continue today in Moncton. Jansen Baker has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of 78-year-old Bernard Saunier and his wife, 74-year-old Rosemarie Saunier. The couple were both fatally shot inside their home in the early morning hours of September 7th, 2019. A key witness for the Crown testified yesterday and told the court Baker admitted to him that he was responsible for a double murder in Dieppe. There is a publication ban on reporting anything that could identify the witness. Haligonians now know their water bills will jump a sizable 18% this year, with the bigger portion of the increase taking effect by the end of the month. Halifax Water added an additional 0.5% to its rate increase scheduled for April, going from 5.5% to 6%. This is on top of a 12.1% hike this month.
So what that means for a household per month in January would be $9.28 extra a month, and then an additional $5.11 beginning in April.
When you stack water, power, and taxes together, it creates real rate shock for people who simply cannot afford it.
The information on the Halifax Water increase is now with the Regulatory Appeals Board. Brittany Smith with Halifax Water says a decision could come within the next few days, and the utilities customers will then know how much more money will be coming out of their pockets. It's an unusual but effective gauge of a troubling trend. The number of moving trucks coming to our region has slowed from its peak a couple years ago. Truck rental giant U-Haul says the region used to be a top 25 destination for customers, but it's dropped way down on the list. It's believed cost of living is a factor.
Moncton, not all that long ago, was one of the highest grossing, or like one of the top 25 cities, largely because they were the last bastion in Atlantic Canada where prices were actually pretty fair. Another example that actually last year would have been Sydney.
The days of cashing out of a more lucrative market, such as Ontario, and coming down here and buying twice the house for half the cost, is just no longer the case.
Stats Canada says its numbers still show more people are coming than leaving, but the margins are shrinking. On the ice, Maritime veteran NHL coach Rick Bowness is back in the game. The Columbus Blue Jackets announcing yesterday they've hired the 70-year-old as head coach, replacing Dean Evison and assistant Steve McCarthy, who were both relieved of their duties. Bowness most recently served as head coach of the Winnipeg Jets from 2022 to 24, leading the club to back-to-back appearances in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Moncton native has racked up more than 800 games coaching the Jets, Stars, Coyotes, Islanders, Senators, and Bruins. And the Blue Jackets host the Flames tonight. Snow has come early and often to much of New Brunswick this winter, and that is good news for those who play in it or make a living from it.
The club is open. They're doing very well. Sales are up about 65% at the club. Bookings, I do run a snowmobile rental business also, so there's a ton of interest. It looks like the month of February is pretty well all pre-booked.
Brad Mann says after 2 years of a late start to the snowmobiling season, there's a sense of relief that this season is looking up. The industry, run almost entirely by volunteers, is worth over $90 million to the province. In Fredericton, the city is also gearing up for Frostival, the largest winter festival in Atlantic Canada. Started over a decade ago, in part to boost business during a slow time of the year. And staying with the cold theme, finally around 65,000 people attended the opening day of an ice festival in South Korea. A lot of people enjoying the cold. People bundled up to participate in the festivities, but some brave souls did some bare-handed fishing in icy water in T-shirts and shorts. So the festival has become one of the most celebrated events of South Korea's winter tourism season since it was launched in 2003. And this year it drew around 3,200 international tourists. And there's still time to go check it out. The festival runs until February 1st.
Wow. This is, okay, that I do.
Cool.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm in for this. I'm
how
in for the
cool is
LED
this?
lighted ice slide and that.
Ooh. Like,
the barehanded fishing, maybe no.
yeah, I know. Can you believe people did it just like in T-shirts, bare hands?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I believe too, like dug into this a little bit, that they will then barbecue what you catch and you can eat it right there. There you go, see?
See, perfect. Ooh, that will warm me up too. That is
Very fresh
fish.
Yum.
Yeah, I know that barehanded ice fishing is not available at the Downtown Dartmouth Ice Festival. That happens at the end of this month. But,
yeah.
You know, there's always hope for the future.
Yeah.
Frostival will be here before you know it in Fredericton too.
Love Frostival. Yeah.
Time. Still ahead, we're going to have your entertainment headlines, but coming up next is the Move Morning Chat. This will warm you up, give you the warm and fuzzies. Today we're talking about proposal stories. We'll share our I-dos when we return.
Good morning. The time is 6:42. We're taking a live look at Grand Pré. It is a cloudy start to the day and quite cold this morning. As of right now, it is -1, but factor in that wind chill, it is feeling closer to -10. Temperatures will rise a little bit later on, but for the most part, right across Atlantic Canada, it is starting off a bit cooler this morning. -4 degrees in Fredericton, -6 in both Charlottetown and Sydney, 1 degree in Yarmouth, and -15 degrees in Labrador City, -2 in St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. A bit of cloud coverage for parts of the region, but also going to see sunshine as the sun begins to rise for parts of Atlantic Canada. We do have some flurry activity tracking across the region as well. A chance of some showers into the Tri-County area. Other than that, we will be seeing a lot of that clear out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud to mainly cloudy skies. And into this evening, temperatures will continue to cool down. Just a bit of cloud coverage yet again, taking us into early Wednesday morning. We do have another system headed our way, bringing a chance of flurries and or showers back around. If you're wondering about precipitation totals, going to remain quite light for the Maritime region, not seeing anything for Newfoundland and Labrador. In terms of our snowfall outlook, only seeing around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for Edmonton and into Labrador City. So starting off in New Brunswick, we will be seeing a chance of some isolated flurries that will clear, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. Wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour with highs between 0 to 3 degrees. For Prince Edward Island, looking at a mix of sun and cloud throughout your day today. Daytime highs between -1 to +1 and wind gusts of 40. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, looking at pretty warm, mild temperatures today at around 0 to 4 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud as well. And for the rest of Nova Scotia, mainly cloudy skies, seeing a chance of showers arrive into the Tri-County area this evening, highs between 3 to 5 degrees. Labrador City, a high of -12 today. We are looking at a chance of flurries throughout your day. 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland, lots of sunshine throughout your day. Into our forecast for Wednesday, really warm temperatures for the Maritime region. We are going to see this mixed precipitation return across parts of Newfoundland and Labrador into the Maritime region, for the most part looking at a chance of showers, but we do have a chance of flurries in the forecast as well. Thursday's forecast looking at a chance of flurries and or showers for much of Atlantic Canada. Yet again, temperatures remain quite warm as well. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to the Move Morning Chat.
Our friends Aaron and Peter are here for the Move Morning Chat. And can you feel that love is in the air?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking engagement stories. Aaron, why are we talking about engagements today?
Yeah, we want to know where you got engaged and what made it so memorable. This engagement is quite memorable. There's a video gone viral, and you can see this for yourself on our Facebook, Halifax's Move on Facebook. There's a couple that has gone viral because this guy proposed to his girlfriend, and Sidney Crosby just happened to accidentally crash the proposal. We don't know much about these two. All I know is they're French-Canadian and they're big Pittsburgh fans. So they were there. They were there for a game, I'm assuming right outside the arena where they play. She's wearing all the gear. She looks like a total fan. He gets down on one knee, and there's a car that's pulled up right beside them. It's Sidney Crosby, of all people. The guy looks at him, gives Sidney a thumbs up. Sidney's, laughing and smiling. And yes, she said yes, of course. So what a memorable engagement. And it got us sharing our very own stories. Peter's goes back a little while.
Decades. And may I say, don't do as I did. Mine wasn't memorable in any way. In fact, my wife and I have a debate about whether this actually happened or this was in my head when it comes to engagements, okay? So we've been married for 36 years. In my world, I proposed at a restaurant on Spring Garden Road that's a nice steak restaurant there. It was at the time anyway. It's not there anymore. And that is where I proposed. How unmemorable was it? She says, no, it didn't happen there. But the fact is, we had talked about getting married so many times before the actual proposal that it was kind of almost an afterthought, the actual engagement, will you marry me? So don't do as I did.
Listen, well, it seems like you both kind of remember it. Well, let me just say congratulations on 36 years, incredible. Peter. That's incredible. For my husband and I'll never forget the day because I was very stressed. I was fresh out of broadcasting school. I had my first job in St. John in New Brunswick, and my husband and I, well, my boyfriend at the time, Mike, we actually spent the day driving from Halifax to St. John, looked around apartments for me, and then drove back. And if you know, if you've made that drive, it's 4 hours. So 8 hours in a car. I remember getting back home to our apartment. I was so tired and exhausted. And here's the trick, though. This is the cool thing he did. He said, oh, your graduation ring is in. He did get me a graduation ring from Dalhousie University, the university I went to before NSCC. And he gives me this regular looking box and I open it up and it's an engagement ring. Aww. Now, to be honest, I'm not a jewelry kind of gal. I wasn't sure what it was. I thought that's really pretty. I was like, it kind of looks like an engagement ring, me not knowing what engagement rings look like. And then I said, well, he'd be on his knees. And then he got on his knees. And proposed. So it ended up being a beautiful moment. But I remember I was just so tired and stressed from trying to find apartments in uptown St. John at the time. But I still love what he did and all the memories I've come since.
Oh my goodness, that's so romantic.
Yeah, you and Kyle?
Okay, well, I was kind of similar to you in the way that I was having a stressful beginning of the month and it was just not going my way. So what was nice was my cousin, who's basically my twin brother. I call him my good twin. We've grown up very close. And Kyle pulled up to my house and they're like, let's go for a drive. And we're blasting music, heading downtown Toronto. And we go to Nathan Phillips Square. So I'm like, okay, we're going skating. This is Christmas Eve. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun. So we walk up and Kyle's like, let's go up the stairs for a second close to City Hall. And there were flowers there and he got down on one knee and my cousin recorded it. And it was just a very special moment for me. Because one of my favorite people were there besides Kyle, which was really nice.
Aww.
Yeah.
There's so much
so long ago
going around. Oh, well, we want you to share your stories with us at home. If you're sitting there watching, say, I've got a good one, please share it with us. Send us a text at 10400. Where did you get engaged and what made it so memorable? We'll share your answers a little later in the show.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:53. We're going to head over to Hollywood and take a look at your entertainment headlines.
I love this woman, and I have to tell her.
Rom-com fans can spend their Valentine's Day weekend at the movie theater watching the re-release of an 80s classic. Pretty in Pink is returning to cinemas to celebrate its 40th anniversary. You can catch the film written by John Hughes and starring Molly Ringwald, John Cryer, and Andrew McCarthy in theaters February 12th through 16th.
Love you, brother. Be careful.
I will.
After picking up 2 Golden Globe Awards Sunday, Sinners is now a top nominee for the 57th annual NAACP Image Awards. The Michael B. Jordan film scored 18 nods in the motion picture categories. Bel Air leads the TV categories with 7 nominations, while Kendrick Lamar leads all music nominees with 6. The ceremony will take place February 28th. And I can't be without you, baby. Mary J. Blige is heading to Sin City for her first ever Las Vegas residency. She'll be playing 10 shows at Park MGM in May and July. Tickets go on sale this Friday. And Grey's Anatomy star Patrick Dempsey turned 60 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
If you still have a real Christmas tree kicking around, you might want to consider donating it to some eager goats in the Halifax area.
CTV's Mike Lamb takes us to Ataraxie Farm, where they're transforming the holiday leftover into a festive feast.
Welcome to Ataraxie Farm out in Lawrencetown. So Ataraxie Farm was started back in 2013 for my husband to help him with his post-traumatic stress disorder from his military services. It was his sanctuary to help him deal with his PTSD and understand how animals impact him and help him deal with his PTSD. We opened up the farm in June of 2021 when someone posted they want to take their kids to a farm during COVID. Since then, it's actually helped my husband reconnect with society, help humans, help those with mental health illnesses such as PTSD, social anxieties, depression. We constantly get trees and shrubs all throughout the year. Christmas time is a great time to drop your Christmas tree off as long as they're still green. They are healthy for the goats. They help with their digestion. They help with deworming. They're a real good nutritional supplement for their systems. You can drop them off any day, 7 days a week, between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. They strip it right down, take all the bark off and everything, and it's completely gone. When the boys are done with the tree, so they'll only eat what they want, but the girls will actually strip the bark right off of the trees. So it's nice and sweet for them. We do farm tours every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can book your tour online for free, and you can come out and check out our animals. Bring your Christmas tree with you if you book your tour. You can just sit and listen to the animals, pet the animals. They come up to you. They actually look for your attention.
You're having a good meal there. Happening now in local news, a high-profile double murder trial is scheduled to continue today in Moncton. Jansen Baker has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of 78-year-old Bernard Saunier and his wife, 74-year-old Rosemarie Saunier. Plus, Halifax is warning commuters that the Alderney ferry service is running on a reduced schedule. Plus, hockey hopes. Could we get a maritime PWHL team? We'll have those details coming up next in your local news. That's after this. It's Tuesday, January 12th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, a high-profile double murder trial is scheduled to continue today in Moncton. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And in an important trade mission, Prime Minister Mark Carney is in China for high-stakes talks. We'll chat with Dalhousie University's Laurie Turnbull about the trip and other Canadian political headlines. That's a bit later in this half hour of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. Today is Tuesday, January 13th already. We are inching towards the end of the work week, but not there yet.
No, we're in.
I don't even know why I said that. I'm like, we're not even close.
I'm with. Okay.
So what kind of work week are you?
We're like, it's sharing a brain because last night I'm like, my goodness, what a week it's been, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's Monday.
It's Monday night.
It's Monday night.
Yeah, throwing me off.
So it's sometimes, you know, you're busy. There's a lot going on in your life.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
And you know what? Amanda yesterday said it feels like Friday. But we're not close either, so.
No.
No, you know what it is? I said it's Friday somewhere.
Oh, It's even better.
And then everyone around me pointed, it's not Friday.
Actually, that was the best. That's even better. I botched it because that was the better statement.
You know, it's time the 5 o'clock somewhere, so it's Friday somewhere. Not at all. Not at all. It's better than when I used to say 2 of one, half a dozen of the other instead of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Like same.
Oh my gosh.
Until my husband.
Funny.
Yeah, one day he said, you're saying it wrong.
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes we're just like you. We need that extra cup of coffee or that extra hot tea in the morning. I noticed when I got in the car this morning at the very ripe hour that we do drive to work, and it was that there was no frost on the windshield, which I thought, well, this is interesting.
I know. Yeah. It's definitely milder than what we're seeing. It's still a cold start to the day right now. Temperatures will warm up, though, above the freezing mark for the maritime region, so it is going to be quite a lovely day ahead. We're not really seeing much active weather either.
Oh, that's a good shade.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Look at him, one of my favorite live eyes.
Beautiful, and you can see off in the distance the sun is slowly starting to rise, I believe, or maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me, but we will be seeing sunshine in your area a little bit later on. A chance of some isolated flurries for parts of the region, but other than that, sunshine to increasing cloudiness for some. -4 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton, -6 in Charlottetown and Sydney, 1 degree in Yarmouth, -13 degrees over in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and -4 in Gander. Taking a look at that wind chill early this morning, so it is going to feel a bit cooler, but we are going to see temperatures warm up a little bit later on, but you're going to want to layer up before heading out. Here's a look at that satellite and radar. A chance of flurries for parts of Atlantic Canada will clear for the most part, leaving either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. In terms of the wind, starting off a bit breezy, will taper off into the afternoon. As of right now, 30 kilometers per hour for sustained wind in North Cape and Sydney, 31 in Grand Etang with 22 in Moncton, wind gusts of 44 kilometers per hour in Sydney, 41 in Grand Etang, and 35 in Moncton. We'll take a look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. A high-profile double murder trial is scheduled to continue today in Moncton. Jansen Baker has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of 78-year-old Bernard Saunier and his wife, 74-year-old Rosemarie Saunier. The couple were both fatally shot inside their home in the early morning hours of September 7th, 2019. A key witness for the Crown testified yesterday and told the court Baker admitted to him that he was responsible for a double murder in Dieppe. There is a publication ban on reporting anything that could identify the witness. Southwestern Nova Scotia municipality says it will review its dog control bylaw after the death of a 13-year-old boy who was attacked by 3 dogs. Drew Nickerson was attacked by a Rottweiler and 2 Cane Corsos as he rode his bike by a property in Welshtown. He later died in hospital, and his funeral was Sunday. The animals were immediately euthanized, but the municipality says it will review its current dog bylaw after residents expressed concerns in light of the incident. Halifax is warning commuters that the Alderney ferry service is running on a reduced schedule. As of Monday, service between downtown Halifax and Dartmouth will run every 30 minutes at peak times on weekdays. That's down from the regular 15 minutes. The city says the reduction is needed to repair one of the ferries that broke down last week. Parts are needed for the fix, and it's not known when regular service will be restored. A fixture on the river will be missing this winter in Rothesay. The town will not approve solid ice fishing shacks. Officials say they no longer want to deal with the wooden huts sinking in the spring.
This past summer, we ended up sending some divers down to pick up a shack that had sunk 2 years ago. They brought it towards the wharf, and then we had a crane come in and lift it out of the water, and then we had to dispose of that.
For the last decades, everyone's had their shacks out here, so I don't feel it's fair to everyone.
Technically, the town has no jurisdiction on the river itself, but it does control the beach. So fishers dragging shacks through there may face consequences. Finally, a packed house in Halifax cheered on the PWHL's Boston Fleet and Ottawa Charge Sunday in the league's takeover tour. However, the prospect of a maritime team is what fans seem to be most excited about. CTV's Callum Smith looked into that possibility.
Knows how to score against Franco. Scores again. For the second game in 1 month, PWHL teams went to a shootout Sunday to decide a winner in Halifax. Today, supporters from across the Maritimes took in Boston's morning practice to see the Stars once more and show their support for a franchise here.
We hope Halifax gets a team because we travel over from PEI all the time. I do think there's a chance to expand more.
It was a sold-out Sunday crowd, just like December's game, putting the city on the league's radar.
We have 16 games, and there are some cities like Halifax that we are coming to more than once. So I believe we have 11 different markets in North America, and we're looking at all of those as potential areas that would make sense for the PWHL.
All begging the question, could Halifax score its own franchise? Events East, that runs Scotiabank Centre, would be the one to submit an expansion bid.
We feel very confident in Halifax and Nova Scotia's capabilities to meet the requirements of the league.
The airport says it's well equipped to handle flights to support a professional team, and Discover Halifax says hotel space wouldn't be a problem either.
When you get into those seasons, in the shoulder season and into the winter season, there's lots of availability, and it's easy to find accommodations.
The thought isn't slipping the mind of politicians.
I think we showed the PWHL that Halifax is a fantastic city to consider expansion into. I think it's worth a good solid pitch to them.
Even the Prime Minister's wife hopeful for what could come.
I think it's high time for a PWHL team this side of the country.
Leaving fans here hoping the second stop in Halifax is far from the last. Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Callum.
We love Callum.
Yeah, we do. He's been filling in on this show as well. Yeah.
We don't love him more than you, Amanda. That would be ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Listen, he's a great guy. I wouldn't blame you if you did.
Oh, my God.
He's taller than me, that is for sure.
Well, that is true. But we do love you. Now, we want to talk about something that you probably don't know much about, dark matter. Nope. If you don't know much about dark matter,
great book.
Don't be sure. It sounds like a great book. Sounds like the name of a heavy metal band. But it's actually something. There's a lot of it in space. Scientists don't know much about it.
Yeah.
So astronomers are on Cloud 9 over Discovery. The images are pretty cool. Cloud 9 is the nickname of a recently discovered object in space. It turns out it's dark matter. That's cloud that could be left over from the formation of a galaxy. So dark matter is thought to make up as much as 85% of the universe, but no one actually has detected it. And it's hoped that Cloud 9 will lead to better understanding of dark matter.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That is cool.
Images are great, yeah.
Oh, it is overwhelming sometimes to think about space and how small we really are.
We are.
Oh, yeah.
And how here we are, and we still don't understand so much. So much to learn.
I do recommend the book Dark Matter.
That's a real book?
Oh, Blake Crouch, yeah. And they turned into an Apple Plus TV series.
Okay.
Awesome.
Another recommendation.
Great for sci-fi fans. Yeah. Still ahead, we're going to have your look at your national headlines on this Tuesday morning. And also, too, Latavia has your latest look at the more mild Tuesday forecast for this January 12th. Good morning to our viewers in Perth Andover, New Brunswick. Loading. See, we have tick issues, too, sometimes. But Latavia standing by with your forecast next.
Bit warmer starting off your day over in Yarmouth. Welcome back. The time now is 7:12. 2 degrees starting off your day. Unfortunately, no skateboarding will be taking place as the roads, the ground is still quite wet. Weather is brought to you by the Atlantic Lottery mobile app. We are going to see warmer temperatures, but starting off quite cool for much of Atlantic Canada. Early this morning, -6 degrees as you head outdoors in Fredericton, -7 into Charlottetown with -6 in Sydney, -2 degrees over in Halifax, -15 in Labrador City, -4 degrees over in Corner Brook. Taking a look at our forecast timeline, we are going to see some sunshine as the sun begins to rise, but a bit cloudier for parts of Atlantic Canada. Also dealing with a chance of some flurry activity early in the morning. Will clear out for the most part, leaving either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and clouds, still holding on to a bit of flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland. Into tonight, much of the same expected. We are going to see temperatures cool off yet again. Really warming up, though, into Wednesday's forecast with a chance of showers and or flurries returning. If you're wondering about the precipitation we're seeing in the forecast, going to remain quite light for parts of the Maritime region. And in terms of snowfall, only seeing around 1 to 5 centimeters for Edmonton and into Labrador City as well. So a chance of flurries starts off the day for New Brunswick. That will clear out for the most part, leaving a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. Highs will range from 1 to 3 degrees today with wind gusts of 40. For Prince Edward Island, seeing sunshine throughout your day today right across the island. Daytime highs between -1 to +1. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, highs will range from 0 to 4 degrees today. Lots of sunshine for you as well. And for the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at highs between 3 to 5 degrees, mainly cloudy skies with a chance of showers returning into the evening for the Tri-County area. For Labrador City, a high of -12 degrees today. We do have flurries expected throughout your day. A high of 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland. Lots of sunshine for you today. In terms of our Wednesday forecast, temperatures will be quite warm, above the freezing mark for our daytime highs for much of the Maritime region, probably the warmest day of the week. And we are going to see a chance of showers and or drizzle return starting off the day, and then seeing a chance of flurries into the afternoon. For Labrador, looking at periods of light snowfall throughout your day and a bit of a wintry mix for parts of Newfoundland, looking at a chance of showers mixing in with a chance of flurries. For Thursday's forecast, will be another warm day ahead, but we will be seeing a mixed precipitation return as well. Yet again, a chance of flurries under showers for parts of the Maritime region, specifically into the northern region of New Brunswick. For the rest of the Maritime, seeing a bit more of a wet day ahead in terms of a chance of showers. And then for Labrador, looking at snowfall and seeing a bit of precipitation for Newfoundland as well. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Prime Minister Mark Carney heads to China today for several days of meetings where trade talks will be a top priority. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on who will join him and what's at stake.
Expect progress on so-called irritants, say Canadian government sources, but not an elimination of tariffs. Canada has been hammered by tariffs on canola, pork and seafood, which China levied in response to Canadian duties on Chinese EVs.
Canola seeds need to be planted, right? So for our farmers, it would be good to know what's going to happen.
Government officials not specific on what progress to expect, billing the trip as important in the long game as Canada works to diversify trade.
To signal willingness to talk about EVs, it's a good ask to ask for suspension of tariffs, I think, absolutely, and potentially talk about other things, about oil.
Officials describe legwork ahead of the trip as extensive. Former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien was in Beijing last week. The Prime Minister's parliamentary secretary and Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs visited last month.
This has been a building block process. I'm confident there will be outcomes and deliverables.
Cody Blois will be back for this trip. Carney also bringing 5 ministers and newly Liberal floor crosser Michael Mah. Saskatchewan's premier, on the front lines of the anti-canola tariff push, will join the Prime Minister for a few meetings.
Pragmatic engagement is fine. Diplomatic amnesia would be a mistake.
Canadian officials concede there will always be areas where Canada and China can work together and others we cannot. A coalition of human rights groups issued a letter to Mark Carney ahead of the trip.
We urged the Prime Minister to take a stronger stance than in the past with the human rights situation in China and Hong Kong, and as well as warning China not to mess with our internal affairs, meaning the foreign interference.
The Prime Minister leaves for Beijing Tuesday. After China, he heads to Qatar for a bilateral visit focused on trade, followed by the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
CTV's Abigail Beeman reporting in Ottawa. Back here in Atlantic Canada, there was an overwhelming response to the grand opening of a brand new urgent care clinic in St. John's. So many people showed up, the clinic overflowed, and many were turned away just hours after the doors opened.
First day coming out here, it was open and you can't even get in there. I mean, I don't know what to think of it.
Witnesses telling CTV News that this room was overflowing just moments after doors opened, with a security guard turning many away. Newfoundland and Labrador Health Services was not available to talk Monday about the crowding in the clinic. Health officials in the region are planning to open 2 more urgent care clinics in hopes of diverting more patients from the ER. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, Crystal will have a conversation with Dalhousie political scientist Lori Turnbull. That's on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Welcome back at 7:21. Now, this week, as we've heard in Amanda's national and international news headlines, Prime Minister Mark Carney is headed to China to discuss trade and international security. It will also be the return of Parliament amid a lot of unrest politically in the world. Here to help us digest all of this is Dalhousie University political scientist Laurie Turnbull. Good morning, Laurie.
Good morning.
So let's begin with Prime Minister Mark Carney's visit to China this week. How significant is this meeting?
I mean, from the perspective of the relationship between the two countries, it is very significant. This is the first time in almost a decade that a Canadian Prime Minister has gone over to make a visit like this. And so I think from that perspective, we can count this as a very different time in the relationship between the two countries. We are charting a new course now. I think in terms of an opening conversation, around what can happen between the two countries in terms of trade, I think it's very important because the Prime Minister has talked about how he wants to get to this goal of doubling our non-U.S. trade. And so if we're going to do that, these big powers like China and India with these huge economies, these big markets, is really important for that. Now, what's going to come of this particular trip? We'll see, right? Whether he gets anywhere in terms of tariffs that are in place right now, because I think, as he's traveling with Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe, he wants to see some movement here so that those canola tariffs are removed. But what will that do in terms of the tariffs that are on Chinese electric cars coming into Canada? Like Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, will want to see those in place. And so we'll see whether it actually changes anything on the ground.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of eyeballs in Canada, but even around the world, seeing what happens this week in China. Let's talk about Chrystia Freeland. Now, she resigned late last week from Parliament to become an economic advisor to the Ukrainian government. What kind of implications does this have for the Liberal Party and Canadian politics in general?
Well, I mean, Chrystia Freeland was certainly a really big presence and figure in the Trudeau government. This is, and obviously, as we know, Chrystia Freeland's decision to leave Trudeau's cabinet in December of 2024 was really the big push for Trudeau himself to decide he was going to leave politics. Because without her support, it was almost like, how could he possibly keep going, right? She was his right hand. But I mean, her own priorities as finance minister, she had a significant impact. She was global affairs minister. She was intergovernmental relations minister. Like, this person was a really impactful presence in the Trudeau government. Now, with her departure, just to get to the brass tacks of it politically, it means that the Liberals are down a seat or down a vote anyway. And so when it comes to something like a budget vote, that's important because the Liberals are just a couple of seats under that 172, that magic number for a majority, right? They were at 171, but now with Freeland's departure, there's a vacant seat. There's no vote there. And so I suspect the Prime Minister will be quite keen to call a by-election very shortly. It's a very safe Liberal seat. So I suspect they will see somebody, I suspect, who's close to Carney, who he wants to appoint to cabinet probably. We'll see, I think, a prominent Liberal running in that riding.
Interesting. Let's look at the return of Parliament and Pierre Poilievre's leadership review at the end of the month.
Yeah, so big month when they do come back in that last week of January. Parliament returns January 26th. Again, the big item there is going to be the budget because it hasn't passed yet. And there's a number of key items, including early retirement incentives for public servants because they want to pare down the size of the public service. That stuff can't go through until the budget's passed. But Mr. Poilievre's leadership review happens later that same week in Calgary, and I think he's expected to get a positive number there, and his team will know how to manage this. They're going to fill the room with people who support him, and that's what they should do. But it leaves a question about what the longer-term prospects are for his leadership, especially if the Prime Minister does manage to get to that magic number of 172. It means it's going to be very difficult for the Conservatives to prompt an election anytime soon, which means that then what happens to the assessment around Poilievre, whether he's the right person to lead the party. Will the party start to get antsy and look for somebody else? Will someone else put their hand up? So there could be some drama there, even if he manages to get through the leadership review with no problem.
Yeah, Laurie, gosh, and all of that you've mentioned is pretty high stakes in its own right, but it's happening in the midst of so much unrest in the world. We only have about 30 seconds, but I'll give one of the items, Venezuela, the future of Venezuelan oil and what U.S. President Donald Trump is doing with the capture of the country and the control of that oil. How concerned should Canadians be about this?
I mean, concerned on a number of fronts. One is, to me, is obviously the sovereignty issue. Yes, there's all kinds of reasons for people to be concerned about Maduro's actions, and no one wants, I think, him to be in charge in Venezuela for lots of good reasons. However, going in and kidnapping the leader of a sovereign country is a violation of international law that we should all be concerned about. On the oil front, we'll see how this actually goes. There's strange messaging coming from the U.S. Sometimes Trump says they're running the oil. Other people are saying not so much. How is this going to affect Canada's leverage in terms of the CUSMA negotiations? Because they might be less interested in our oil if they feel like they've got a supply of their own.
Yeah, very interesting. Laura, thank you so much for helping us digest all of this. It's going to be a busy year ahead.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're not even halfway through January.
Halfway through the month. All right, thanks so much. We're going to turn our attention over to Latavia.
Thanks, Crystal. Taking another look at our 3-day forecast for New Brunswick, a daytime high of 3 degrees today. We do have isolated flurries clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud, but mixed precipitation expected to return into the evening. Then on Wednesday, 6 degrees with snow and rain across the province. Same thing for Thursday. Daytime high remains at 6. For Nova Scotia, a high of 3 degrees today, mainly cloudy skies with evening showers. And then on Wednesday, we're looking at 7 degrees as your daytime high. Isolated showers expected throughout the day, evening rain. And then on Thursday, a high of 8 degrees with showers across the province. Prince Edward Island looking at a high of 1 today with a mix of sun and cloud. 6 degrees on Wednesday with showers and or flurries across the island. Then on Thursday, a high of 5 with showers returning.
Coming up in this half hour, the importance of gut health. That's the topic of this month's MetaV Health Connect, and it's coming up in 15 minutes here on Your Morning Atlantic.
.31 on this Tuesday, January 13th. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited to talk about gut health. In preparation for the interview, I didn't realize just how much the gut does for our overall health.
Really?
Yeah. If your gut's not feeling well, you're not feeling well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, what is it, the microbiomes that they talk about?
It is, yeah.
Oof, yeah, I'm glad you're touching on that topic, because that is something too. I'm like, oh, I know it's important, but I don't exactly know why.
Yeah.
And how do I maintain it? Yogurt?
I mean, certainly if you're feeling unwell in the tummy, you're uncomfortable in that particular moment, but it has wider implications on our overall health too. So we're going to get into it in a little bit.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Gutsy, yeah, I have a gutsy interview. I would love to know what's going on in the weather this morning.
Quite mild. For
That's
the most
good.
part. It's cold usually in the morning.
But relatively mild.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's going to warm up. For the Maritimes specifically, looking at temperatures above the freezing mark for our daytime highs. Here's a look at Fredericton early this morning. Quite dark over there still. As of right now, it is -6 degrees, and then you factor in that wind chill. It's going to feel a bit cooler this morning, but temperatures expected to rise a little bit later on. -7 degrees over in Charlottetown with -2 in Halifax, -6 starting off your day in Sydney, -9 over in Cartwright, and -4 into Corner Brook. Taking a look at that wind chill across the region, so it's helping to make things feel a lot colder, a bit breezy early this morning for parts of the region as well. So just keep that in mind when you are heading out. Temperatures will rise a little bit later on. So we are seeing a chance of some flurry activity for parts of Atlantic Canada, but we will also be seeing sunshine for parts of the region. So it's going to be a lovely day and quite mild in terms of our daytime highs. In terms of the wind, starting off a bit breezy, will diminish into the afternoon, but as of right now, 31 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 30 into both Grand Etang and in Sydney, 20 in Moncton. Wind gusts of up to 41 kilometers per hour in both Grand Etang and Sydney, 30 into Moncton. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
City of Halifax is giving a heads up to commuters that the Alderney ferry service is running on a reduced schedule. As of yesterday, service between downtown Halifax and Dartmouth will run every 30 minutes at peak times on weekdays, down from the regular 15 minutes. The city says the reduction is needed to repair one of the ferries that broke down last week. Parts are needed for the fix, and it's not known when regular service will be restored. In New Brunswick, a high-profile double murder trial is scheduled to continue today in Moncton. Jansen Baker has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of 78-year-old Bernard Saunier and his wife, 74-year-old Rosemarie Saunier. The couple were both fatally shot inside their home in the early morning hours of September 7th, 2019. A key witness for the Crown testified yesterday and told the court Baker admitted to him that he was responsible for a double murder in Dieppe. There is a publication ban on reporting anything that could identify the witness. Haligonians now know their water bills will jump a sizable 18% this year, with the bigger portion of the increase taking effect by the end of the month. Halifax Water has added an additional 0.5% to its rate increase scheduled for April, going from 5.5% to 6%. This is on top of a 12.1% hike this month.
So what that means for a household per month in January would be $9.28 extra a month, and then an additional $5.11 beginning in April.
When you stack water, power, and taxes together, it creates a real rate shock for people who simply cannot afford it.
The information on the Halifax water increase is now with the Regulatory Appeals Board. Brittany Smith says a decision could come within the next few days, and the utilities customers will then know how much more money will be coming out of their pockets. A fixture on the river will be missing this winter in Rossay. The town will not approve solid ice fishing shacks. Officials say they no longer want to deal with the wooden huts sinking in the spring.
This past summer, we ended up sending some divers down to pick up a shack that had sunk 2 years ago. They brought it towards the wharf, and then we had a crane come in and lift it out of the water, and then we had to dispose of that.
For the last decades, everyone's had their shacks out here, so I don't feel it's fair to everyone.
Technically, the town has no jurisdiction on the river itself, but it does control the beach. So fishers dragging shacks through there may face consequences. On the road, it's an unusual but effective gauge of a troubling trend. The number of moving trucks coming to our region has slowed from its peak a couple of years ago. Truck rental giant U-Haul says the region used to be a top 25 destination for customers, but it's dropped way down on the list. It's believed cost of living is a factor.
Moncton, not all that long ago, was one of the highest grossing, or like one of the top 25 cities, largely because they were the last bastion in Atlantic Canada where prices were actually pretty fair. Another example of that actually last year would have been Sydney.
The days of cashing out of a more lucrative market, such as Ontario, and coming down here and buying twice the house for half the cost is just no longer the case.
Stats Canada says its numbers still show more people coming than leaving, but the margins are shrinking. Maritime veteran NHL coach Rick Bowness is back in the game. The Columbus Blue Jackets announcing yesterday they've hired the 70-year-old as head coach, replacing Dean Evison and assistant Steve McCarthy, who were both relieved of their duties. Bowness most recently served as head coach of the Winnipeg Jets from 2022 to 2024, leading the club to back-to-back appearances in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Moncton native has racked up more than 800 games coaching the Jets, Stars, Coyotes, Islanders, Senators, and Bruins. And the Blue Jackets host the Flames tonight. Author, and for fans of hockey romance, it has been confirmed Halifax writer Rachel Reed is heading back into the heated rivalry universe with a brand new book.
It's really, 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 really surreal to be sitting here writing the next Ilya and Shane book while watching jokes about Ilya and Shane happen live on my television from Hollywood at the Golden Globes. It's very weird.
Right, because the actors who play the two were at the Golden Globes on Sunday. The 7th installment of our best-selling Game Changers series, Unrivaled, reunites that fan-favorite couple, whose story also inspired the hit TV adaptation. The book hits shelves this September, while fans continue waiting for word on when we might see season 2 of the Crave series. Was 6 episodes enough? I don't know. So many people not only just watching it, re-watching it as well.
Yeah. The series is only 6 episodes long?
Yeah.
Ooh,
and they're like 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't finished the series yet, but I am enjoying it so much.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
Well, let's stay with the hockey theme. Obviously, it's popular. Building a homemade rink is impressive work, but this one's really next level. Literally next level. Because it's on the 2nd floor of a barn in Ontario.
What?
So this homemade rink on the 2nd floor, no less. The owner, John, made the first rink for his kids 16 years ago, so nowadays his grandkids use it. The floor is used to store multiple bales of hay, so he says it can stand up to the weight of the ice.
Oh,
what?
So cool. So when the weather warms up, he takes everything off the ice, and after a good cool down, it's good to go again. So in the summertime, I guess they just use it for whatever.
That's a cool grandpa.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Such a creative idea.
We have an ice rink upstairs on a second level.
Yeah, and it's like with the boards and everything, it's good.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder what the animals in the barn below think of it.
Right?
Like all that weird skating noise up top.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Like, quiet.
Oh my gosh, wow. And then we have a contest for Thunderbirds fans out there. So if you've been meaning to head to the Nest to catch a game, then our brand new contest is for you. CTV wants you to head up with the Halifax Thunderbirds and win 4 tickets to the January 31st game where the T-Birds face off against the Georgia Swarm. And you'll get a chance to watch the pregame warm-up from the penalty box, a night in the Halifax Marriott Harbourfront, and a $100 gift card to the Harbourstone Poorhouse.
Nice.
What a deal. To enter, head to our website. The contest closes Saturday. We'll announce the winner on Friday, January 23rd. Good luck.
Oh my gosh, from the penalty box, you can see the warm-up. That's so
Free hotel stay.
cool.
Nice dinner.
Can't complain.
No, sounds like a great package.
Win-win. All right, we've reached the halfway point of the show, but hope you stick around because we have so much more to come. Just ahead, Latavia will have another look at the forecast. Then it's time for the MediV Health Connect. And in this month's segment, we're looking at the importance of maintaining gut health. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. It's 7:41.
Welcome back. The time now is 7:44. We're taking a live look at Halifax. Mainly cloudy skies early this morning and expecting to stick around into the afternoon as well. As of right now, it is -2 degrees heading outdoors, and then factor in that wind chill. It's going to feel closer to -10, but don't worry, temperatures are expected to warm up. And it is quite cool right across Atlantic Canada early this morning. -6 degrees starting off the day in Fredericton, -7 as you head outdoors in Charlottetown, -6 in Sydney, a -9 over in Cartwright, and -7 into St. Anthony. Over to our forecast timeline. We do have some sunshine in the forecast, but also a bit of active weather starting off your day. A chance of flurries early this morning for parts of Atlantic Canada. That will clear out for the most part, leaving either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. So not too bad for our daytime highs as well. For the Maritime region, it's going to increase above the freezing mark for much of the Maritimes. And then into this evening, pretty much the same, just a bit of cloud coverage into this tonight, carrying into early tomorrow morning as well. But we do have another system that will make its way over. It's going to bring a wintry mix back around our way. If you're wondering about precipitation totals for today, going to remain quite light for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. And then in terms of our snowfall outlook, only seeing around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for Edmundston, as well as into Labrador City. So across New Brunswick today, we do have a chance of some isolated flurries, clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. Daytime highs between 1 to 3 degrees and wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, lots of sunshine throughout your day today. Daytime highs between -1 to +1, and we are going to see wind gusts remain at 40. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, same thing applies. Sunshine expected throughout your day with highs between 0 to 4. And for the rest of Nova Scotia, a bit cloudier throughout the day, mainly cloudy skies with a chance of showers returning into the evening for the Tri-County area, highs between 3 to 5 degrees. Labrador City will see flurries throughout the day, a high of -12 today. 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and cloud. Wednesday's forecast, probably the warmest day of the week. We are going to see temperatures rise for the Maritime region. We do have a chance of showers and or flurries moving back in. And then Thursday's forecast, pretty much the same, looking at a chance of showers and or flurries for Atlantic Canada. Crystal.
The Health Connect segment is brought to you by MediV. Life lived fully.
It's almost 7:47. And did you know your gut health can influence everything from digestion and immunity to energy, mood, and even hormonal balance? It's one of the most important systems in the body, yet most of us never have it assessed by a medical professional. Today, we're looking at a new approach that's making science-based gut support more accessible for Canadians. Our partners at MediV and MediV Blue Cross have become the first insurer in Canada to cover a comprehensive gut health program, combining expert guidance from registered dietitians with professional-grade microbiome testing. So what does that mean for your health? Catherine Bierman is here with us from MediV to help us find out. Good morning, Catherine.
Hello, how are you?
Nice to have you in, first time 2026.
Yep.
So let's talk about gut health. How important is gut health?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, it impacts everything from your digestion, your immunity, your energy levels, even your mood. So not a lot of people know that about 90% of the serotonin you have and 50% of the dopamine is produced in your gut. And those are what people call the feel-good hormones that significantly impact your mood. So if your gut is not working well, then that's going to impact your mental well-being and a lot of your other systems, as you mentioned.
Interesting. And then microbiome testing. So what can we learn from our microbiome?
Yeah, so really there's a balance that needs to happen in your gut. So there's what they call, some people just call it good bacteria and bad bacteria, but you need the balance of both. So when things get out of balance is when things start to, start impacting your health in negative ways. And it's not the kind of thing that you can easily tell from looking at somebody necessarily or just doing a blood test. And so it's something that people haven't always had access to. Testing was often done only in a clinical setting, and it wasn't easily accessible for people who just wanted to maintain everyday good health.
Yeah, so Medivie is the first insurer in Canada to cover this. Why was it important to take this step?
I think it was important because we've really been focusing a lot on prevention, health prevention, and we think that health prevention should be as accessible as treatment. And as I mentioned, it hasn't always been, it was clinical settings, et cetera. And so even though we had, there are programs and tests out there, because of the financial cost, it also wasn't accessible for people sometimes. So by making it part of a benefit plan, that can really help people with the cost and allow them to take those preventative health options early before they start having issues.
So before we get into the nuts and bolts of how it works, I think it's really cool that it's a Newfoundland and Labrador company that's going to be partnering with you on this. Tell us a little bit more about why it was important to do that.
Yeah, so we didn't go out searching, obviously, for a Newfoundland company. When we have a new product, we're looking for the best provider within Canada for our members, and the fact that this company was in Newfoundland was, a bit of a happy accident, but we're super excited to be supporting Atlantic innovation. That's of course where our home is from, and so they've been a great partner. We're really looking forward to seeing how this rolls out over the next few years.
For sure. Okay, and really quickly before we go, how would members access the program?
Yeah, so they can go on the Medivie Blue Cross app, and they can go into a platform called Connected Care, which is right on the app, and look under gut health.
Wonderful. That doesn't sound very difficult at all. All right. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And we're going to turn our attention over now. Actually, we put a link to more information about Medivie and the gut health program on our website. And now we're going to turn our attention over for more health news from Amanda.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Today in health news, we begin with Canadian research from McGill University, which could raise the success rate of IVF. It is one of the topics in Your Health. The success rate for IVF is 30%, due in part to a complicated schedule of daily injections. Researchers at McGill are developing a light-activated microneedle patch. It can be programmed to dispense medication at set times. This means no more need for injections. This technology can also be used for conditions such as diabetes or multiple sclerosis. Finally, medical experts say strength training can help keep bones and muscles healthy after menopause. Estrogen loss speeds up a reduction in bone density and contributes to the gradual loss of muscle mass. Strength training involves working against resistance and can help women maintain a healthy weight while staying on track with New Year's fitness resolutions. You can use free weights, but strength training can also involve exercises like push-ups, squats, lunges, sit-ups, crunches, or planks.
We have no milestones to pass along for you today, but if you'd like to see previously aired milestones or find out how to submit one, scan the QR code on your screen. And remember, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance. Many Maritimers are facing rising costs when they go to fill their car, fill their fridge, and heat their homes. With economic pressures stretching household budgets, our partners at McDonald's Canada are doing their part to help out. Joining us this morning, we have Andrew Healy, a franchisee with McDonald's Canada right here in Halifax. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for asking, especially now that we brought McDonald's here for us.
Treats here for us, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what we want to know is that you have some exciting news to tell us. Share it.
So starting today, for the next 12 months, coast to coast, from restaurants in Newfoundland to BC, we now have our new $5 plus tax McValue meals, any day part, breakfast, lunch, dinner, available for all Canadians.
So what does that mean? What kind of menu items are we talking about?
So you can see a couple of them here. So we've added a few new items, but a lot of them are our iconic fan favorite items, as we call them. So for breakfast, our sausage McMuffin, sausage McGriddle, our bagel, and we also have our burrito meal as well.
Yum.
Moving into lunch, our iconic junior chicken meal, McDouble meal,
yes.
and our chicken snack wrap meal, all for $5 plus tax.
That's absolutely incredible. Considering my go-to is always the McDouble, so I'm glad to know that it's remaining affordable for your guys. Yeah. All right, so with Maritimers feeling the economic pressure from all sides as a local franchisee, why do you feel this price freeze is important?
So I think, looking around the country and in the ebbs and flows of today's world, we wanted to provide something that was a very consistent piece of value for Canadians. And, no minimum purchase, no limited time offers. We wanted to send the message that for the next 12 months, we are looking at, the DNA of McDonald's, which is convenience and value, and committing to that price for 12 months. As the message gets out there, Canadians will know whether you're a student running between classes, a parent running to hockey practice, or wherever else you fit in there, that $5 plus tax, you'll be able to get a good meal, including a hash brown at breakfast or fries at lunch, and a small drink as well.
If you had to choose, which would be your favorite item on the McValue?
Oh, gosh. I mean, this goes back probably to my high school days before becoming a franchisee, that junior chickens at lunch was always the go-to. And it was, I think, depending on which mood you're in, but for me, it's junior chicken all day.
I don't discriminate against a junior chicken either.
Yeah.
They're quite good. Okay, so you also have the $1 small McCafe coffee, which was first introduced back in 2024. Will that be included in the value?
Yes, so small McCafe coffee is included, $1 plus tax for the next 12 months. Along with the majority of our other coffee prices, everything was dialed back around 30% as well to provide further savings. So dollar coffee has been around now for about a year and a half, and we continue to commit to that for Canadians to provide, our awesome McCafe coffee at a great price.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing this very exciting news, especially for someone like me.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Our pleasure. All right, now we're going to take another look at our 3-day forecast. Starting off in New Brunswick, a daytime high of 3 degrees. We do have some isolated flurries starting off the day. Will clear, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. Chance of flurries and or showers returns across the province into the evening. Then on Wednesday, a high of 6 degrees. We're looking at snow and or rain. And on Thursday, mixed precipitation yet again with a daytime high holding at 6. Nova Scotia looking at a high of 3 degrees today, mainly cloudy skies with a chance of showers into the evening for the Tri-County area. And then on Wednesday, 7 degrees is your daytime high, some isolated showers, transitions over to steady rain into the evening. And then on Thursday, 8 degrees with showers across the province. Prince Edward Island looking at sunshine today with a high of 1. Wednesday, 6 degrees with showers and or flurries across the island. Then on Thursday, 5 degrees with showers returning.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Tuesday, January the 12th or the 13th?
13.
Have I been saying the 12th all morning?
Yeah, I know.
All right. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, your top news headlines will have a high-profile double murder trial. It's scheduled to continue today in Moncton. We'll have details in that just ahead. Yeah, it's the 13th. Tuesday the 13th. I think I've been saying the 12th for the past 2 hours, so I apologize.
But I was just like, okay, I get it.
Oh my gosh, so apologies there. Correction. The 13th.
That's the biggest mistake you make today, Amanda. You're having a great day.
Exactly.
I thought I made a mistake once. Turns out I was wrong.
Classic.
I get that one from my dad. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that, everyone.
It's a 13th.
The rest is correct.
1 through Tuesday the 13th. It has no significance whatsoever as far as superstitions go. It's just a day.
It's just a day.
It's just a day. Weather-wise, honestly, you're saying it's going to be actually half decent.
Yeah, it's not too bad. We do have a chance of some flurry activity for parts of the region. Other than that, we are going to see either mainly cloudy skies or a mix of sun and cloud. Pretty easy weather to report today, actually.
Okay,
nice break.
Before we get to weather, just a reminder about our Mood Morning chat. Your proposal story. What made it memorable? You can text us the Coles Notes version at 10-400. We'll have a nice little roundup at the end of the show.
Love it. Can't wait to see those. All right, so in terms of the weather, we're going to talk about the fact that it's kind of cold early this morning, which is pretty typical for this time of year.
Ooh, look at this
shot. Look at that.
I
an
love
ATV?
This. It's like a special snow ATV. Ooh, and there's a snowmobile.
There you go. Some activity over in Brookville. Look, there's another one.
Ooh, that's a snowmaker, I think, like a grooming thing. Ooh. This is fun.
That's really cool. All right. Well, as you can see over there, pretty cloudy start to your day. We are going to see a bit of sunshine a little bit later, but starting off a bit cloudy this morning and cold. -6 degrees in Fredericton, -7 in Charlottetown, -2 degrees starting off the day in Halifax, -6 in Sydney, -7 degrees in St. Anthony. Over to the wind chill right now. This is what it's feeling like across the maritime region. So still going to be quite cold. Temperatures expected to rise into the afternoon, but same thing goes for Newfoundland and Labrador. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Just as I had mentioned, flurries early in the morning, clearing for the most part, leaving either mainly cloudy skies or a mix of sun and cloud. And it will be much warmer, quite mild into the afternoon for parts of the region. In terms of the wind, a bit breezy, will become pretty light into the afternoon as of right now. 30 kilometers per hour in Grand Jetang and in Sydney, 20 into Moncton. Wind gusts of up to 41 kilometers per hour in Grand Jetang and in Sydney, 30 in Moncton. We'll take another look at your long range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
A high-profile double murder trial is scheduled to continue today in Moncton. Jansen Baker has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of 78-year-old Bernard Saunier and his wife, 74-year-old Rose Marie Saunier. The couple were both fatally shot inside their home in the early morning hours of September 7th, 2019. A key witness for the Crown testified yesterday and told the court Baker admitted to him that he was responsible for a double murder in Dieppe. There is a publication ban on reporting anything that could identify the witness. The city of Halifax is telling commuters that the Alderney ferry service is running on a reduced schedule. The service between downtown Halifax and Dartmouth, it will now run every 30 minutes at peak times on weekdays. That is down from the regular 15 minutes. The city says the reduction is needed to repair one of the ferries that broke down last week. Parts are needed for the fix, and it's not known when regular service will be restored. A southwestern Nova Scotia municipality says it will review its dog control bylaw after the death of a 13-year-old boy who was attacked by 3 dogs. Drew Nickerson was attacked by a Rottweiler and 2 cane corsos as he rode his bicycle by a property in Welshtown. He later died in hospital, and his funeral was held Sunday. The animals were immediately euthanized, but the municipality says it will review its current dog bylaw after residents expressed concerns in light of the incident. Years after some jurisdictions have implemented and then discarded its photo radar, it could become a reality in Nova Scotia by the end of the year. But officials in Halifax are keen on the idea. There is a debate about whether they actually work. CTV's Vanessa Wright has more.
Speed cameras could be coming to Nova Scotia neighborhoods very soon. Dartmouth East Councillor Tony Mancini hopes his municipality is the first to put them up.
We're ready to go. Our staff has been ready to go.
The technology has been discussed and debated for years. The topic came up at a public meeting where dozens of residents spoke out over excessive speeding on Waverley Road.
In the past month, I've had 3 near misses where I've almost been hit in the sidewalk, walking my dog, and also carrying my 4.5-month-old son.
Now, speeding is the main concern for those living here on Waverley Road. One person I spoke with didn't want to go on camera, but says they aren't against speed cameras. They don't know how effective it will be, but say something needs to be done to get people to slow down.
I don't support speed cameras. I don't find that there's any evidence they actually change driver behavior. This is particularly because the tickets aren't delivered to people until sometimes months after the incident occurred.
The technology didn't last long in some parts of the country. Ontario turned them off in November after more than 5 years of use and millions of dollars collected in fines.
In order for an intervention to change behavior, it's more effective when it happens immediately. When somebody's pulled over, they're meant to confront their conduct. Whereas when you get a ticket in the mail, you don't even remember what happened that day or if it was even you that was driving the vehicle.
Mancini says it'll be another 8 to 12 months before people can expect to see them on the roads. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Dartmouth.
Thank you, Vanessa. Snow has come early and often to much of New Brunswick this winter season, and that's good news for those who play in it or make a living from it.
The club is open. They're doing very well. Sales are up about 65% at the club. Bookings, I do run a snowmobile rental business also, so there's a ton of interest. It looks like the month of February is pretty well all pre-booked.
Brad Mann says after 2 years of late starts to the snowmobiling season, there's a sense of relief that this season is looking up. The industry, run almost entirely by volunteers, is worth over $90 million to the province. And in Fredericton, the city's gearing up for Frostival, the largest winter festival in Atlantic Canada, started over a decade ago in part to boost business during a slow time of the year. Finally, a copy of the comic book that introduced the world to Superman has been sold to an anonymous buyer for $15 million US. That's a lot of cash for some pieces of paper. Action Comics #1 was originally released in 1939 and sold for 10 cents. It marks the beginning of the superhero genre and is among the most valuable comic books in the world. And guess what? It's estimated. How many copies do you think still exist of this comic book?
Of the Action Comics. 5? That's a great guess. Yeah, I'm going to say
guess.
5.
Okay, well, that's good. 100. Actually, about 100. But it explains why. I mean, it's so expensive. But yeah, big collector. I mean, an anonymous collector, but...
That kind of... classified section. When I was a kid, they still had stuff like that. That's where you would get the sea monkeys.
Oh my goodness, the sea monkeys. Takes me right back, Crystal.
Oh my gosh. Back in the days, you sent away for stuff. You know?
Yeah, yeah, in the mail.
Yeah.
Maybe a little something in your cereal box, too.
Oh, yeah.
You have to wait 6 weeks or something.
Times. Well, speaking of good times, the 83rd Annual Golden Globes are now in the history books, but it's never too late to take a closer look at some of the red carpet fashion. Let's do that now. Here are some examples. I want to know your thoughts. Okay, love it, like it.
Kate Hudson, yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
They don't show the diamond encrusted thong at the back.
That's simple.
they don't. Jennifer Lawrence was my favorite.
Oh.
I'm not sure if we're going to see Jennifer Lawrence, but she looks
gorgeous.
That's gorgeous.
Wow.
Classic, I guess.
Classic. Men are also getting braver, too. Like, I love the risks some men are taking. I guess you can call it risk, but I love how they're having fun with their fashion.
Oh, yeah. This one's very sparkly. Oh, Kathy Bates, always elegant.
Wow. Some good ones. Oh my gosh.
Lots of fun.
Lots of inspiration. Award season has begun.
Yes,
that it has.
Now, you'll want to bundle up, but you don't have to bundle up too much. Latavia has the forecast coming up. Also, too, later this half hour, we'll have Tia Tuesday as well. Let's see how it's looking at Peggy's Cove. You can see some white caps there in the ocean and some cloudy skies as well. The full forecast is coming up next.
Happy Tuesday, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:12. We're taking a live look at Bell Island with sunshine starting off your day. Quite windy, though. Keep that in mind when you are heading out. Wind gusts of 80 kilometers per hour right now. We'll taper off to around 60 into later this morning. Starting off, it is quite cool early this morning, so something also to keep in mind. Weather is brought to you by the Atlantic Lottery mobile app. As you head outdoors in Fredericton, -5 degrees starting off your day, -4 into Charlottetown, -6 degrees early this morning in Sydney, with -2 in Halifax, -10 degrees over in Cartwright, and -5 in Corner Brook. Over to our forecast timeline, we are going to see sunshine early this morning for parts of Atlantic Canada. Also a bit cloudier to start your day, looking at either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud, taking us into the afternoon. But starting off early this morning, it is a bit cold across the region, as well as a chance of flurries remains for parts of Atlantic Canada. Into the afternoon, we start to see that clear out, leaving that sunshine or increasing cloudiness, taking us into this evening. Just a few clouds return, and we are going to see temperatures cool down yet again, but warming right back up into Wednesday's forecast, and we do have mixed precipitation headed our way. If you're wondering about the precipitation totals, going to remain quite light for parts of New Brunswick and into the Tri-County area of Nova Scotia. In terms of the snowfall outlook, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for Edmonton, as well as into Labrador City. For forecast today for New Brunswick, starting off the day with a chance of some isolated flurries clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. Daytime highs between 0 to 3 degrees and wind gusts of 40. For Prince Edward Island, lots of sunshine throughout your day today, with daytime highs between -1 to 2 degrees. And for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, also seeing a mix of sun and cloud throughout your day, highs between 0 to 4. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, mainly cloudy skies with a chance of showers returning into the evening for the Tri-County area, highs between 3 to 5 degrees. For Labrador City, going to see flurries throughout your day today with a high of -12. 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland, also going to see sunshine throughout your day. In terms of the Wednesday forecast, probably the warmest day of the week. Temperatures will rise above the freezing mark for the Maritime region yet again. We are going to see a chance of showers and or flurries return. And into Thursday's forecast, another warmer day ahead, and we do have mixed precipitation returning across Atlantic Canada. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. International news now. The situation is becoming more desperate for Iranian Canadians as they anxiously try to reach loved ones in a country largely cut off from the globe. Violent protests in Iran have claimed the lives of more than 500 people with no end in sight. CTV's Mike Lacouture has more.
It's a daily struggle. With communications to Iran cut off, Iraj Avahani can't reach his siblings in the northeastern part of the country. Even more concerning, his nieces and nephews have gone missing.
You cannot imagine what's going on, and if the phone, they said, okay, he's dead or he's in the jail. We hope he's in the jail.
The hope is that his brother or sister won't have to visit a makeshift morgue to search for the body. One human rights group says it has verified the deaths of more than 500 protesters.
We are also documenting a seriously extreme number of arrests, 10,690 as of our last count.
Monday, State TV aired footage showing massive crowds at pro-government rallies right across the country. Iranian authorities are accusing both Israel and the U.S. of having a direct role in the political unrest. Iran's foreign minister says his country is ready for talks with the U.S., but is also fully prepared for war. Trump's spokesperson says he's ready to talk while keeping military options on the table.
What you're hearing publicly from the Iranian regime is quite differently from the messages the administration is receiving privately, and I think the president has an interest in exploring those messages.
Meanwhile, back in Ottawa, members of the Iranian Canadian community can do little but send support.
And all they asking for freedom to choose to how to live, how to wear, what to eat, and what they do in their life.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has condemned the killing of protesters and urged Iran to allow for freedom of expression and peaceful assembly without fear of reprisal.
CTV's Mike Lacouture reporting in Ottawa. Finally, the Olympic torch is making its way through Italy, leading up to the Winter Games next month. Yesterday, the torch visited the highest peak in the Alps, Mont Blanc. It's been to many destinations, including Rome, Sardinia, and Naples, as part of a 12,000-kilometer journey that will end in Milan on February 6th. A quick break here on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll have the newest edition of Tia Tuesday. That's coming up next.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back, and we love to connect with you, our viewers, here on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic, and here is the best way to connect with us. You can send us an email. We have a new one. It is yourmorningatlantic@ctv.ca, or send us a text at 10400. You'll get a response asking you which show you watch. Of course, it's the Atlantic show, and then we can speak back and forth. You can let us know your engagement story. We're talking about that for the Move Morning Chat. That's coming up later in the show. We will share your answers, or just send us a text to let us know where you're watching from, perhaps a segment you would like to see on the show. Send us your animal photos. We're waiting to hear from you. That is yourmorningatlantic.ca, and send us a text 10400 as well. Now it's over to Crystal for our latest Tia Tuesday guest.
Thank you, Amanda. It's almost 8:22, and we're back with the newest edition of Tia Tuesday. And today, Tia introduces us to Jessie Taylor, the creator of the Brave Art Project, a creative tool that funds therapeutic art kits for shelters and frontline organizations through coloring books and creative resources. Jessie joins us now, along with Tia Upshaw, the founder and CEO of Black Women in Excellence. Thank you, Tia, both for coming in.
Good morning. Bright, shining early.
Yeah, we are so excited. Tia is holding a fabulous coloring book there. And Jessie, you created it. Tell us a little bit about your journey of how you got to Brave Art.
Yeah, so it's been a labor of love, definitely. I have a background in corporate and spent some time on the front lines. I left corporate to go back to school. I knew that I always wanted to have something of my own. Entrepreneurship is within. And so I get to work with different businesses like the Healing Sisters, Amber McGinnis Insurance and Financial, you know, with fractional operational work. And this is super rewarding. However, I knew that I wanted to have more of an impact with survivorship. And Nova Scotia right now, we are in an epidemic of intimate partner violence. And by no means do I think that art and coloring is going to be the end all and like the 100% we're going to heal. But I also think that, you know, sometimes it's just nice to chill and relax and have a mindful moment. So before starting my business, I worked in anti-human trafficking and worked with youth that were exiting human trafficking and sexual exploitation. We spent a lot of time coloring, a lot of time coloring. And therapeutic art was huge. So to honor my lessons from those girls and from my time there, I thought, I'll create a coloring book and we'll sell it. And then the proceeds from the coloring book will go to fund therapeutic art kits that will donate to domestic violence shelters or other frontline organizations that are supporting survivors. So Empowerment for Hope Society was the first to receive the art kits.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to Winnie.
Yeah.
Brown, she was on here with us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they were the first to receive the kits, and we actually just received a grant from the Mental Health Foundation, and so we're able to put together 175 kits.
That's wonderful. Well, Jessie, we appreciate you explaining that so clearly for us. So you're holding the book. Maybe you could give us a little demonstration, Tia, and let us know how Jessie got onto your radar.
I don't even know how Jessie got onto my radar. I'll be honest with you, because obviously she's not a Black woman. So it wasn't through Black Women in Excellence. I think Jessie just came along because of entrepreneurship and, you know, being in certain sectors. You know, yes, I'm big on entrepreneurship, but I'm even bigger on women empowerment.
Yeah.
And helping people, you know, go from who they were or what they went through to where they want to be today. So I think we just came along each other in the spear.
I've been a huge Tia fan too, so I've also inserted myself.
Well, I don't know, but I love that the fact that we connected. Again, she's not a Black woman, but she brings so much value to, you know, the women that I work with and in myself, because I know a lot of people who, you know, are survivors of domestic abuse, sex trafficking, and the list goes on. And this coloring book, like,
Yeah, she's going to show us, like, I mean, the illustrations, like
they are so good.
Beautiful. The quality of the book is incredible. And we're showing actually some images, too, of the art kits that will be donated to, you know, deserving individuals because of the sale and proceeds of this book. Jessie, where can we get our hands on these books?
So you can actually buy them from www.thebraveartproject.com. You can buy them straight from me, but they're also sold exclusively on Amazon. So if you want to go on to Amazon and buy them, you can.
Do you have an offer page?
I do not yet.
Okay.
Yet.
But okay, well, see, this is, you could work together. Yeah. She is already, she cannot help but mentor and empower and lift. Well, it's really, I think a lot of people get into entrepreneurship because they want to have impact.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful that you are succeeding there already. I know that the book is even getting more attention. It's being featured worldwide in gift guides.
Yes.
That's exciting. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
That was something I was not expecting. I thought this was going to be a very local HRM. It's gone beyond that. I've had the book featured in magazines in Northern Ireland, the UK, Florida.
Wow.
They're being sent across Canada. We just did a collaboration with Pocketlings, which is a plush doll brand for Black girls. So I'm really blown away. This one is for all ages. We also have a book that is 18 plus and with some spicy language.
Wonderful. Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for introducing us to Jessie, Tia.
Of course.
Can't wait to see you again in 2026. I know you had a lot of big things, which you do not have time to talk about, but we'll get into that in the coming sessions. We're going to turn our attention over right now to Latavia, and we have a link to more about the coloring books and brave art on our website.
Thank you.
Thanks, Crystal. We're going to take another look at the 3-day forecast. New Brunswick will see a high of 3 degrees. Isolated flurries start off the day, seeing sunshine into the afternoon, but mixed precipitation returns into the evening. On Wednesday, a wintry mix returns yet again, a high of 6. And then on Thursday, snow, wind, or rain across the province. Daytime high remains at 6 degrees. Nova Scotia will see a high of 3 degrees today, mainly cloudy skies with evening showers for the Tri-County area. Then on Wednesday, 7 degrees as your daytime high. Isolated showers transitions over to steady rain into the evening. Then on Thursday, 8 degrees with showers across the province. Prince Edward Island, a high of 1 today with a mix of sun and cloud. On Wednesday, showers and or flurries with a high of 6. 5 degrees on Thursday. Showers continue across the island.
Coming up in our last half hour, 4-time Olympian Ellie Black. The Halifax-based gymnast will tell us what it feels like to be awarded the Order of Canada. The bar just keeps getting higher and she just keeps beating it. That conversation coming up later this half hour.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. 8:31, only a half hour left of the show. We have Ellie Black coming on.
Oh, can't wait. What an uplifting morning. It's been so many interesting interviews. It's been a great day. Gosh, the visuals of Ellie doing the uneven bars there. Wouldn't you love to, just if you were skilled, to be able to feel what that feels like, to soar through the air and fly and spin around? That would be so neat.
Feeling so much hard work, hours upon hours to be able to do that.
Yeah.
To have a move named after you too, the Black, like incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Can't wait to have that conversation. Ellie has a big year ahead. Before we get there, though, we should let you know what the weather's like, especially if you're joining us now. What are we looking at, Latavia?
It's pretty typical for this time of year. It's a bit cooler starting off the day. Temperatures will warm up a little bit later on, and we're getting sunshine, as you can see here over in Wentworth. We're definitely going to see a bit of cloudy skies also for parts of Atlantic Canada, but for the most part, we will be seeing sunshine. As you can see here, a beautiful, mild day ahead, but it's starting off a bit cooler. -5 degrees in Fredericton, -4 over in Charlottetown. Early this morning, it is -2 degrees in Halifax, -6 in Sydney, -13 degrees over in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, -4 in Gander. Then we factor in that wind chill is going to feel a lot colder for parts of Atlantic Canada. Just basically layers are the key. This is pretty typical for this time of year. We are going to see a warm up for the Maritime region. taking temperatures above the freezing mark for the most part. And as I mentioned, either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud as we inch towards the afternoon. But starting off early this morning, we do have a chance of some flurry activity for parts of Atlantic Canada. In terms of the wind, as of right now, sustained wind of 37 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 35 into Grand Detang with 31 in Sydney. Wind gusts, no wind gusts at this time. We'll take one last look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first, one last look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. The city of Halifax telling commuters the Alderney ferry service is running on a reduced schedule. As of Monday, service between downtown Halifax and Dartmouth will run every 30 minutes at peak times on weekdays. That's down from the regular 15 minutes. The city says the reduction is needed to repair one of the ferries that broke down last week. Parts are needed for the fix, and it's not known when regular service will be restored. A high-profile double murder trial is scheduled to continue today in Moncton. Jansen Baker has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of 78-year-old Bernard Saunier and his wife, 74-year-old Rose-Marie Saunier. The couple were both fatally shot inside their home in the early morning hours of September 7th, 2019. A key witness for the Crown testified yesterday and told the court Baker admitted to him that he was responsible for a double murder in Dieppe. There is a publication ban on reporting anything that could identify the witness. Maritime veteran NHL coach Rick Bowness is back in the game. The Columbus Blue Jackets announced yesterday they have hired the 70-year-old as head coach. Bowness most recently served as the head coach of the Winnipeg Jets from 2022 to 2024, leading the club to back-to-back appearances in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Moncton native has racked up more than 800 games, coaching the Jets, Stars, Coyotes, Islanders, Senators, and Bruins, and the Blue Jackets host the Flames tonight. Now to a turbulent topic, from assaulting flight attendants to smoking on board and even indecent exposure. Canadian transportation authorities logged more than 100 reports of disruptive air passengers last year. For more on this, we bring in CTV's Scott Hurst. Scott, as we mentioned, Transport Canada logged over 100 reports of disruptive air passengers for 2025 with a wide range of alleged bad behavior. What can you tell us?
Good morning, Amanda. Of course, we all know flying can be stressful and delays can be disruptive and potentially even costly for us, the passenger, if we miss a connection or don't get to where we need to go on time, whether it's work-related or just trying to get on a holiday. But disruptive passengers are unfortunately all too common, particularly for flight attendants who are often the first point of contact. And some of the bad behavior we're talking about includes some basic behavior that, like refusing an order to sit down, to more serious things like uttering threats, instigating fights, vaping, even indecent exposure, just to name a few. Now, these incidents last year caused numerous delays, forced flights to be diverted or turned back to the gate, and in many cases, the offending passengers were arrested or escorted off the plane by police, and some, according to the data, even added to no-fly lists. Now, airlines have zero tolerance for any form of abuse directed at employees or other passengers, and cabin crews go through extensive training to help de-escalate situations. Now, we should point out that the number of disruptive passenger incidents, the just over 100 incidents that we're talking about, really are minuscule compared to the millions of customers who fly every year across the country, but also union reps for flight attendants tell CTV News disruptive passenger incidents often go unreported depending on the severity of the incidents, Amanda.
Thank you so much for that, Scott. These reports, too, they were filed from across the country. What cities had the most reported incidents?
So there were some reports at maritime airports, but maybe you guys are better behaved than the rest of us because those airports didn't crack the top 10 in terms of the most reported incidents, with Calgary leading the way, followed by Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and Edmonton. And of the 114 disruptive reports in 2025 that we're focusing on, that number is actually down from 2024, 2023, and 2022. There were well over 230, but we should point out that Transport Canada says during that year, in 2022, there were also well over 1,000 incidents of passengers refusing to comply with mask mandates, which were in place through much of 2022. So really incidents happening right across the country. And as you mentioned, from those who have to deal with this firsthand, something that is, of course, never tolerated, Amanda.
Wow, and I know people can go to our website, ctvnews.ca, for more details. Scott, thank you so much for breaking it all down for us this morning.
Thanks, Amanda.
CTV's Scott Hurst reporting live for us from our national newsroom in Toronto. Finally, Canadian music legend made a surprise appearance during the PWHL matchup between Boston and Ottawa in Halifax Sunday.
I wanted so much as a kid to play, and there was just no opportunity, so I'm so I can't even believe it's happening.
Heartbreaking and heartwarming all at the same time. A four-time Grammy winner and Nova Scotia native Anne Murray was there sharing her love of the game and excitement for the growth of women's hockey. And she was also on hand to read the starting lineups as well. What an icon.
What an honor.
What an honor. And coming up too, Ellie Black actually was there too on Sunday for the PWHL game. We'll have details on that coming up when you sit down with her.
Yay, I'm really looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, fun little thing. This isn't the type of band you typically expect to see in a bar. It's the Symphony of Kitchener-Waterloo, recently selling out a series of shows at local watering holes. The event is called Symphony and Suds, which aims to connect a new audience to classical music. Now, these bar shows are part of the Symphony's comeback season. After declaring bankruptcy 2 years ago, the players took it upon themselves to get the Symphony back on the ground.
Oh, wow.
I'd go see the Symphony at a little watering hole.
Right? Looks
How
amazing.
delightful
Kind
would
of
that be?
elevated experience.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is actually a really nice watering hole, by the way.
Drink up. That's really nice. Good lighting, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
Yep. We're going to talk about things that are happening in our neck of the woods, taking a look at our community calendar. So, Trackety, I'm not saying that right.
It's
right?
Trackety.
Okay, yay. Well, they're having a winter festival and it returns to New Brunswick. The festival offers a variety of outdoor winter activities. You can take part in skiing, snowshoeing, family rallies, walking trails, sleigh rides, and so much more. The festival actually runs from Monday, January 19th until the 25th. There is a full list of activities on the website below. And why not step back in time and celebrate friendship, family, and love at the Ladies' Valentine's Tea in Charlottetown. So the event will be hosted at the Haviland Club in the historic Faring-Ford House. And the event takes place January 14th at 11 a.m. And there will be tea, lots of treats, and so much more. Head over to their website as well to get additional details. And the Halifax Fringe presents Refringed. From January 15th until the 18th, you can see 3 hit plays from 2025 Fringe Festival. The full list of the shows will be heading to the Bus Stop Theater, so take a look at their website. And if you do have an upcoming event, please send us the details. We'd love to promote it on the community calendar at yourmorningatlantic@ctv.ca.
Those are awesome. Lots of fun stuff going on in our region.
Right?
Yeah.
Never too early to celebrate love for Valentine's Day either.
Yep.
Coming up next, another accolade for Halifax's Ellie Black. The 4-time Olympian has been named to the Order of Canada. We'll talk to her about this latest accomplishment and what is next when we return.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 8:44. We're taking a live look at St. John. Starting off the day at -1, feeling like -12 when you factor in the wind chill. And we are going to see some isolated flurries early in the morning, but will clear, leaving a mix of sun and cloud as clouds continue to clear out as well. So a bit cold starting off the day. Really right across Atlantic Canada. As of right now, -5 degrees in Fredericton, -4 in Charlottetown, -6 degrees early this morning in Sydney, -2 in Halifax, -10 in Cartwright, and -7 degrees in St. Anthony. Taking a look at our forecast timeline, we are going to see either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud as we inch towards the afternoon. But as of right now, we do have a chance of some flurry activity across parts of Atlantic Canada. For the most part, that will clear out, and we will be seeing some sunny breaks into the afternoon, as I had mentioned. Daytime highs will be quite mild for the Maritime region, warming up above the freezing mark for much of the region. Then into tonight, much of the same, just a bit of cloud coverage taking us into early Wednesday morning. Temperatures warming up yet again, and we do have a chance of showers and flurries returning for parts of Atlantic Canada. If you're wondering about the precipitation, only going to see pretty light amounts for parts of New Brunswick and the Tri-County area of Nova Scotia. In terms of the snowfall outlook, only seeing around 1 to 5 centimeters for parts of northern New Brunswick and 1 to 5 centimeters additional for Labrador City. For New Brunswick today, we will be seeing a chance of some isolated flurries that will clear, leaving a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. Highs will range from 0 to 3 degrees and wind gusts of 40 expected. Seeing lots of sunshine across Prince Edward Island today, highs between -1 to 2 degrees. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, you're also going to see lots of sunshine throughout your day. A mix of sun and cloud is expected. Daytime highs between 0 to 4. For the rest of Nova Scotia, mainly cloudy skies today. Daytime highs between 3 to 5 degrees and seeing a chance of showers returning into the evening for the southwestern region of the province. Labrador City looking at flurries throughout your day today, high of -12 degrees and 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland, seeing a mix of sun and cloud. Wednesday will be warming up, probably the warmest day of the week. We are going to see a chance of showers and or flurries return from much of Atlantic Canada into Wednesday's forecast. Another warmer day ahead for the Maritimes, but also seeing that mixed precipitation sticking around, Crystal.
So much at TV. It's 8:46. Now this year, 4-time Olympian Ellie Black will be inducted into the Order of Canada as a member. In the appointment, the Order of Canada states that Ellie Black, one of Canada's most accomplished gymnasts, has elevated the sport nationally through her international success. And the words of praise go on to mention her commitment to mentorship and support for fellow athletes that will impact Canadians for future generations. We're so happy to welcome Ellie Black to our studio this morning. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Order of Canada is a big deal. You have the Order of Nova Scotia, but now the Order of Canada. When you heard this news, how did you react to that?
Yeah, it is a big deal, and I think it really hasn't quite sunk in yet because we haven't had the ceremony yet, but it just feels kind of surreal. And when I got the phone call, it was just such a special moment because it was truly unexpected. And just to be honored in such a way that it's recognizing, you know, my work that I've done and my accomplishments in gymnastics and sport, but as well, just that hard work and perseverance and community involvement, all of that, you know, put together is just, I think it's so incredibly special.
Yes, and it's going to be even, well, definitely follow your journey when you, I guess the date for the ceremony hasn't been set yet, but when it is, we'll follow along. And you're great about posting on socials, but please, like, give us every detail.
I will. I'll take you all along with me.
Perfect. All right, let's talk about an iconic maritime moment, dropping the puck ceremonially at the PWHL game on the weekend with fellow Olympians. And what was that like?
It was so special. I've never done that before, and it was just such an honor to be able to do that in Halifax in front of our community as we hosted this game here. And I know we take our sports very seriously here in Halifax. We support our athletes, and it was just so special to be out there with Jill, too. I've known Jill for a really, really long time, and, you know, to be able to do that puck drop with her. And I actually studied her video when she did the puck drop with the moose heads the night before because I didn't want to mess it up. So
see, this is the athletic mind. Like, I'm going to be prepared for this. I thank heaven they had the carpet leading out. So are you a good skater?
I am. I grew up also doing figure skating, but if you put me in hockey skates, like, I will be slipping and sliding all over the place.
Okay, wow, I didn't know that you were also a figure skater. That's so cool. All right, in March last year, you were awarded the Sports Legacy Award at the Desjardins Sports Charity Dinner in Halifax. Awards. Does this get old for you? Or like, you ho-hum another award? Or
No, I mean, every time you get an award, it truly means the world to me. And for people to recognize, you know, the hard work that you do every day for us in training, like, it's a grind. And sometimes we don't really take a moment to reflect on everything we've done and we've accomplished. And you don't sometimes see that impact past the gymnastics because you're just so in it every day.
Yeah.
So just to have that, I don't know, recognition is a really good reminder that what you're doing is making such an impact.
Yeah, sometimes somebody else has to, this is the moment you're getting the award, somebody else has to just sort of like force you to actually look at what you've done.
No, exactly. Yeah,
yes, you're so busy.
It's such a chance to reflect because, yeah, we kind of move from one thing to the next and we're always working towards the next goal, but to also reflect on everything you've overcome, what you've accomplished, what's helped you to get to where you are today. Like, I wouldn't be here without my community, my family, my friends, my club, like everyone who supported me to be able to get here. And so I think it's really good to be able to acknowledge that and just, you know, sit in that moment.
Yeah, well, let's talk about what does go on in the day-to-day. You have your sights set on the 2028 Summer Games, and you are already preparing for that. Like, what do you do? What's an average Tuesday look like for Ellie Black?
Yeah, so the goal is LA 2028, and it's just it's already started.
Yeah.
You know, like we live our lives in 4-year quads. And so for me, like today, I'll get up, I'll come here for a nice interview with you. But no, I like kind of get my day going, bit of work. I train for the majority of the day at the gymnastics club. So we practice on different apparatus, conditioning, flexibility, everything that we have to do every day to continue building towards that goal in our competition season. And then there's recovery. I work with my physiotherapist. You go home, good nutrition, good rest, maybe a bit of sponsorship work, emails, that kind of stuff. So it does kind of become a full day job, and it's like really about trying to balance it all.
What kind of sacrifices do you have to make on the day-to-day?
Yeah, I think because gymnastics and because sport encompasses so much of your life, right? Your sleep, your nutrition, recovery, and training, and the commitment to that, you have to feel good going into training every day. So that always becomes my first priority. So anything outside of that that might impact my training or my recovery, sometimes it's a no. I have to say no to those things. So there are things that you do have to miss out on, but also on the flip side, the things that sport has brought me has been truly incredible. And there is always a time and a place for those things. It's just about planning it as appropriately as possible.
Yeah, and I know you have a little fun. I know that you'll be going to Ivan's dinner at the Orient for Chinese New Year.
Yes,
and
a
you'll be
highlight.
having a big feast.
Yes, exactly. It is all about balance, and I think as an athlete, it's really important to know that because it's also about longevity, right? We need to make sure that we can have balance. We are able to do both and make sure we're happy and we're still fulfilling ourselves. So the balance is so key. I'm so excited to be at Ivan's. I love that food, and I will be preparing for that meal.
For sure, and you are such an inspiration to so many, not just for the mentorship you give others and your Olympic success, but the fact that you are such a role model for longevity. We appreciate it so much.
No, I appreciate that, and I think just to show anyone out there, you know, no matter what age you're in, what passion you have, right? It's never too late, and if you love something and you work hard at it and you kind of move through those challenging moments, it can take you to places you had never dreamed or imagined.
You're proof of that. Well, thank you so much, Ellie Black.
Yeah, thank you.
That's the time we have. It's 8:52. We'll take a little break. Look at this. Is this fun or is this hard?
This is fun. I would say this was fun. It is hard.
Better you than us.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. This is the time of show we share your answers to the Move Morning Chat. And today we're asking you to share your engagement story. So we start with this one from Barb from Cornwallis Park. She says her engagement was on the beach of Savory Provincial Park. She says, after almost 10 years together, I thought it was never going to happen, but it did happen. If you're wondering where this provincial park is, I've never been there, but I want to go. I looked it up. It's just south of Digby in Plimpton.
Oh.
And she said they got engaged in April of 2023.
Sounds like a wonderful place to get engaged. Yay.
Yeah, I looked up a few photos. It looks really, really nice. Sharon, who's in Fredericton, but her proposal happened in Halifax. She says, my husband and I have different memories on this proposal. He proposed on top of Citadel Hill. He says he asked me to marry him. I remember laughing, not sure at what. Then he says, you are going to marry me, aren't you? And she says, here we are, 48 years later.
Oh my gosh, if you could laugh together, your marriage will last.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks, you two, for sharing your sweet engagement stories with us.
So fun. My gosh. Well, do we want to talk about a last laugh?
Why not?
Let's do it. Okay, yesterday we showed some wedding photos that were a little bit wild. This one's fun. It's time for a wild new game everyone's playing. It's called Let's Pretend It's the 90s. Check it out.
Okay, we're pretending it's the 90s, okay? You're living outside now. You don't come in.
Tonight we're gonna come in?
No, I mean you come in when you sleep, and you come in if you're bleeding. Otherwise, y'all are playing outside. We're pretending it's the 90s, and that's fine. Where's your brother?
I don't know.
Okay, that's good. That's like how it is in the 90s.
Do you remember this? The old days where you'd just be turned out outside and you'd come back for dinner.
Uh-huh. I remember just like running around the neighborhood. I remember there were like woods. We found like skulls of animals and stuff.
Exactly. That's what it was all about.
Home by dark.
Yeah. Let us run wild. And here we are today. See how we turned out?
Right? Fine.
Okay, don't see it. Okay, anyway, have a great day. Hope to see you tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of our show.